My name is Ray, and my partner name is Jay, and we are land investors. In less than 3 years, the land business has changed our lives in ways we can only imagine. We want to show you how to do the same exact thing we did to change our family's future forever, just as you can for yours.
Welcome to Land and Legacy. My name is Jay.
My name is Ray,
And we are
the Acre Boys. I'm back fresh off a vacation, and boy, did I have a blast. It's been a minute since we came live to you from the world of YouTube, so super excited about getting to a new topic, a new episode of Land and Legacy, and let's just jump into it.
That's right. And with us today, we don't want to forget, we have our partner in crime. Introduce yourself, Loso.
Salutations, people. Once again, my name is Carter Harris in conjunction with Conducive Estates, Land and Legacy, boots on the ground. Let's go.
So the topic for today is low taxes. That's the topic that we're bringing to you today. Now, when you do a comparison of closing costs in between houses and land, they are extremely different. Let's just say if you're doing closing costs on a house, it's $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. Most of you know what the closing cost is on that particular property. It's probably $30,000, $25,000, somewhere in there. However, when you're dealing with rural vacant land, closing costs on 30 acres, 40 acres, 50 acres, if it's one tract, are as little as $1,500 to $1,600. So what does that actually do? That actually makes the margin for somebody to get in who doesn't have a lot of money still able to afford closing costs, because you're dealing with a different asset class, which is called rural vacant land. And that is the power of knowing the difference in between the two. So, of course, we all need houses to live in. Of course, we got to do condos, co-ops, all of those things. You got to do all of that. But when it comes to actually buying land, what you would need to actually get in, even after you paid for the property, whether you financed it or you actually paid cash, the property taxes and closing costs are significantly lower than what you're going to have to pay when it comes to a house.
So we live in what state, fellas?
New York.
What are you talking about?
Homeowner. About ballpark here. What are you paying for taxes?
So roughly, my taxes are where I live in a particular part of Suffolk County, Long Island. I pay $17,000 per year.
$17,000.
Has nothing to do with my mortgage, my home
in taxes.
Very unique perspective in terms of just a comparison to, like Jay said. So we all did financing mortgages, right? So where we live typically is about 5%. So the example that Jay gave about a $400,000 house, 5%, you could do the math on that. So rural vacant land, in terms of your point of acquisition, I've seen deals get denied simply because the person can't afford the home, but they can't afford the taxes.
Really?
So, and that's a very intricate part of the detail. Now, rural vacant land, your acquisition and you're paying, like you said, for one tract roughly about $1,000, $1,500, somewhere along those lines. It makes it just that much more advantageous to get involved with this particular business, because taxes can spoil your plans if you're not prepared for it. So from this perspective, in rural vacant land compared to typical home buying, it's a no-brainer for me.
So taxes, right? We all know that Acre Boys, we are land flippers. We buy and sell. Rarely do we hold on to pieces. But from a buy and sell standpoint, here's something that you need to know about taxes is that we don't even pay taxes, because we're looking to flip in and flip out so fast. We've done over 300 deals, and have we paid taxes on one piece of property? The answer to that is no.
Property taxes.
Property taxes.
Right,
Property
right.
taxes. We don't even pay property taxes because we're out of the deal so fast. I think transparent, to be totally transparent, we helped a seller that bought a piece of property from us, and that was a tax deed property. It had back taxes on it, and we funded them some money just to complete the transaction. That's the most we ever encountered with paying taxes. Here's another secret. I'm not encouraging you to go out and utilize this, but when you're dealing with tax deed properties and you obtain a property and it's time to pay the taxes, what happens if you don't pay the taxes?
Yeah.
It just goes back.
Right.
You're not held accountable.
It's a forfeit, yeah.
It just goes back to the county and they'll auction it off again. So that was why we were able to buy hundreds and hundreds of tax deeds. Out of, if we bought, I'm just throwing numbers out, if we bought 1,000 tax deed properties, we sold a good 93% of them. You know, we got left with like 7% because everything some of it was just in bad areas and just wasn't desired. But that 7%, once we had moved on to doing bigger deals, that 7%, we get tax bills sent to us all the time. We don't pay them on tax deed properties because take the property back, re-auction it all. Somebody else, let them deal with the properties. Now, the way that we're doing things now as far as taxes, there's really no comparison if you were looking to hold the property taxes are so low that what are we talking about? We're talking about a 40 acre tract that property taxes maybe $78. And this is gonna vary depending on where you're getting that land at. If you're getting land more closer to a popular area, like if you get a piece of land here in New York, down like where we live at, that property tax is gonna be a few $100s on that. That could be $400, that could be $500, could range all the way up to $800 here. But if we're talking rural vacant land, traditionally, it's almost low. Traditionally, it's almost less than $200, really less than $100. I'm going up to $200 if that's in a popular or close to something that's considered, that may be like a Zoom city or something like that.
True. And with that said, also, you know, that taxes are one of the major things that actually make us able to acquire property. Because when people go ahead and get these properties, the number one thing that they're sick of is paying taxes on something that they're not using. So you know that's a jewel too. So.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is why we get asked that question. Well, you know, how do you buy property for so cheap? For those reasons, people are paying taxes on something that they're not utilizing. So just ask yourself the question: if you had something that you were paying on and you're not using it, get rid of it. Like nobody wants to just throw away money, whether that's $78 a month or $200 a month. You know, I'm looking to cut my cable bill now. I'm looking to find a new service. And it's just the truth. Like, you know what?
We're looking for an angle wherever we can find it. So typically taxes are due May 31st and December 31st. So they break it down semi-annually. So with that being said, what Land and Legacy teaches is that we don't hold those properties that long, per 6 months. We want to be in and out projectively and respectively 30 days, 45 days tops. Most we've held is 4 months tops. You know, so from that perspective, to avoid that, and for all my analytical people who don't want to, who looking at the fine tuning of the numbers and things of that nature, if we're paying $200, $300 or $500 per year, if you can avoid that by selling the property, turn it a profit, and avoid paying those taxes, I think, you know, those two things that run parallel, when they merge together, it's a great opportunity. That's just how I feel.
Checkmate.
In closing, before we bring this one to a closure, while I was on vacation, I had the pleasure of doing a Zoom call with some very intricate people in different asset classes. I believe we had somebody that was in the mobile home investing on that call. We had somebody hotel development. She was a commercial, not commercial real estate.
She does apartment building.
Apartment building.
Apartment building syndication.
Well-to-do people that was on this call, and the topic was what makes your asset class better than the next class, and we represented the land space, and this goes with what we're talking about today. Why we preach land so much and why we're so adamant about it is because these things like low taxes, like, so for the common person, right? For you to be a hotel broker, I mean, he's doing really well at what he's doing, but for you to be a hotel broker, you have to be well versed in that. You have to be,
you have to have like working experience.
Everything's accounted for.
Working experience.
Everything's accounted for. I'm talking about, they would even go into how intricate you have to know the price of the bagels. What are you selling the water for? Different things. All of that kind of stuff is all involved in that actual matrix of profitability. So it's a lot that goes with our asset class. Is a lot more simple because we don't have to deal with a lot of that stuff. But everybody, and respect to everybody in their individual niches. But the one that we choose is always land.
Yeah, and this is for the everyday common person. You can jump in to that space and just get started. I mean, with little to no money. That's why we choose land. And if you want to scale this thing all the way up to making some big bucks for yourself, it offers that as well. So with that said, man, it's been a great conversation.
Let's go.
Join us on what y'all need to do. First of all, join us on our Land and Legacy program. Go and get some of the things that we offer. Go get the ebook. The ebook is only $19.99. That gives you a breakdown of what it is that we do in this land space. And we also have an ebook where we have over 500 links to different online auctions. If you want to play the tax deed game, it's 500 links. We've done the work for you already. You don't have to go and find these auctions. All you got to do is click the link. It'll take you straight to the auction site. So until next time,
Peace, love, y'all. All right.
We strong together.